Adjustment meeting for the City of Seaford. We have a couple items here. Item number one calls for the approval of the minutes of the Board of Adjustment meeting held on June 2nd, 2020. And please note for the record, I will abstain from the voting. I was not present.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 2 Board of Adjustment meeting.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion on the motion or the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll receive a second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a second. If there's no further discussion, we'll take the ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote, or all present vote. We have new business here today, case number V-06-21. Modular On-Site Development LLC seeks a 0.6-foot variance from the side yard setback requirements from section 15-21A, parentheses 5, area and bulk regulations of the City of Seaford zoning ordinance. The property is located at 730 East Poplar Street, tax map and parcel 431-5.00-345.06, zone R2, medium density residential. I'll turn the affairs over to our city manager.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. First, let me start by introducing Mr. Tony Andrews, who is here as the owner of Modular On-Site Development LLC. And Mr. Andrews, once I go through the presentation, he can certainly answer any questions the board might have. So if you go to the next slide, please. This is a survey of the property. It's located on the corner of Poplar Street and Swain Avenue. Mr. Andrews recently subdivided last year or so a larger parcel into several lots. This is the end lot, the last lot to be developed, right along Swain. And the side yard setback in the R2 zoning district is 14-foot aggregate total with a 6-foot minimum. So both sides have to equal 14 feet, but one can be as small as 6 foot. In this case, you'll see there in the blow-up area, the survey revealed the setbacks are 7.3 feet, what would be on the west side, and then 6.1 feet on the east side of the property there. So when you do the math there, it does not meet the 14-foot aggregate total. It is 0.6 of a foot short. So that is the essence of the 0.6-foot variance that's required. And do we have another slide there? Okay, no. So, Mr. Andrews, I don't know if you'd like to come up to the, that's basically the presentation, the request. Could you maybe give some background to the board?
Sure. Actually, we have 9 lots, and they were subdivided based on an aggregate of 3 parcels we had. These were actually laid out in 2007. The WIPs by Miller Lewis, based on a 24-foot wide house, gable entry we call it. For whatever reason, the last lot there, the width of it wasn't wide enough to accommodate that 14-foot aggregate. Quite frankly, I missed it, and so did Miller Lewis. All missed it, actually, before and after submittal of the building permit, only because all the other ones, there was no issue with meeting that aggregate. They also, I mean, it still would not meet the aggregate. They based it on the siding, and they go by the corner board of the siding. So these are modulars, and when we set them, quite often they're not perfectly square on the foundation. That's just the nature of the modulars when you're setting them. So in all likelihood, it's more like 6.3, and when we submitted it to get our building permit, it was actually 6.5 on that corner. So anyway, that's the result of the existing, the current foundation and the house that was placed on it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Do you have any questions?
I just wanted to be clear because I don't read these very well. Is the setback issue on the street side or on the side of the other house?
It's the side yard setback.
Side yard
so
setback.
yeah, and the 6.1 feet on the east side of the property, or the right-hand side of what you're looking there, that is actually adjacent to a street.
Right.
Yes, sir. There, so the west side or left-hand side is adjacent to another residential property.
Correct.
Is that,
So my question is, I see a property line there which may be the curb line of the street. Does that represent the edge of the street or the edge of?
the dashed line that you
Yes.
see there in the top, in the left-hand picture?
Yes.
Mr. Andrews can help me, but I believe so. I believe that's Swain Avenue there, and they're showing you what, as Vice Mayor said, I believe that's the curb line there, is it not?
Yeah, right
And-
at the very corner.
And that's kind of an odd, if you guys remember that area, the land there goes up very high along that side of Swain Avenue. But yeah, I believe that is the curb line there.
So we're talking about a setback between the house and the curb line, not the house and another house.
Correct. Yeah, but that property line is back off the curb line a few feet there. So I guess in this instance, the one that's kind of encroaching is not affecting another adjacent property. And I will add, going through the area, as Mr. Andrews has said, he's built, is this the 9th one?
Yeah.
And they're all laid out very uniformly. It actually looks very nice. I mean, I'll say that. So this is not out of the ordinary of the setbacks of the other 8 homes that were placed.
Yeah, they're all consistently 20-foot setbacks. But because the road curves around, which is actually nice, otherwise I would have staggered them. But it keeps the front setbacks, even though they're all 20-foot, consistently 20-foot, they all look different because of the curve of the road and stuff. So it gives it that curve appeal.
My guess is that is the boundary of the property and not the curb line, because it goes to a point,
The dark line or the dashed
the
line?
dashed line,
You could be correct.
because it goes to a point of the property line. So it's probably set out a little bit further to the south or
Yeah, and I
east, maybe.
I can't see on the survey up there, it's too small, who the property owner of that kind of odd-shaped parcel there is. I don't know if that's the state of Delaware.
So needless to say, that there's nothing that can be built on that little sliver of land. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that doesn't meet the minimum requirements, square foot wise, to be able to build on. And actually,
Oh,
most of
sir,
it's,
could you,
oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And most of it, yeah, that wouldn't meet the minimum requirements. Otherwise, we probably would have bought it.
And anything built could be built up at the top portion of the lot, at the end of, I believe that street that comes through there and dead ends is 3rd Street.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Third Street.
there's a possibility something could be built at that end of the parcel, but down here in that pie-shaped area,
Yeah, I'll walk
it
it.
doesn't seem possible to build in that area, if that's your
Yeah,
question.
there's a little piece sliver right here.
But
would meet
theoretically, the
would meet
top,
minimum requirements and setbacks to be able to build in. Most of this too, also, there's a sidewalk that runs along this portion with a grassy area and an easement to the school. And then right up against this is basically it's kind of like a cliff.
it's very steep. Yep, very steep.
any other comments?
Thank you, sir. I don't have any
Okay.
questions.
Not for me, no, sir.
Do we have anybody signed up for comment? Okay. If there's no further discussion, then I'll seek a motion.
Thank you. So the applicant is seeking an area variance as opposed to a use variance. The legal standard for an area variance is that it should be granted if the applicant can demonstrate that compliance with the code would represent exceptional practical difficulty. And under the law, exceptional practical difficulty, the standard that we apply is that such practical difficulty is present where the requested dimensional change is minimal and the harm to the applicant if the variance is denied will be greater than the probable effect on the neighboring properties if the variance is granted. I believe that the applicant has met the standard, and for that reason, I will move to grant the application.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, if there's no further discussion on the motion, we'll take the yeas and nays. Are you calling a roll call? Or just, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It's a unanimous decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews.
With no further business, I'll seek a motion to close the meeting.
Sorry, I yield.
I will move to close the Board of Adjustment.
We have a motion, and
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.